This type of prime lens was missing from the Sony lineup. Small, bright, compact and fast. And this is new lens from the Sony released today, 60mm 1.8G. And best part is that lens will be cost around 1000. Hi, my name is Rafał, I am from Poland and I am glad you are here. My main goal here on this channel is improve English skills in content creation. So stay with me if you wanna see how things go in the future. And before we start, quick disclaimer, this small lens, this pre-release lens, was sent to me for testing from Sony Poland. After that material, I need send back to the Sony. Unfortunately, because this lens is amazing for me. Okay, specifications of that lens are quite amazing in my opinion, because in that small package we got a lot of features. For example, 11 blades of aperture, so bokeh is very nice here. Like I mentioned before, this lens is very fast. We got here 2 linear XD motors from the Sony, so this lens will catch up 120 fps from a 9.3 III. It's very compact lens, much smaller than 40mm and 20mm from the Sony, and much lighter because this lens weighs 304 grams. And going next, ergonomics are quite amazing here also because we got everything that G Master lenses got, and this lens is G series. Starting from the bottom, the mount got rubber gasket, so this lens is water sealed for dust and moisture. Next we can find here one custom button, autofocus manual focus switch, the iris lock switch, and also iris clicking on off switch. Small but nice focus ring, the classic lens hood, and this lens is accepting 67mm filter thread, which is very nice. Okay, my first impression when I received this lens from Sony Poland are very positive, because I was waiting for that type of prime from Sony many years, because I simply like that 60mm look and handheld working with active stabilization. In addition, this lens is very small, compact and not so expensive, so many pluses. And I got strange feeling that this lens 60mm is mix of two another 20mm G and 40mm G Master. They put good things together and we got 60mm. And also I have strange feeling that this 60mm is very similar to APS-C version 11mm, which I very like. So finally, I'm very hyped for this lens, and I have proved that this lens is for me, that in the past 2 weeks I was using only that lens 90% on my Body A7C Mark II. Even I'm considering selling 60 to 35 G Master 2 for that price. This small prime lens is very versatile because we can use it on many situations. For example, astrophotography, which I try to do, but in my location is very bright, it's hard to do properly, but we can see the result. The very popular on TikTok and Instagram point of view videos, because this lens got amazing close focusing distance performance. Also we can use it for vlogging, for small rooms, for example like here I'm using 60mm. One downside of this lens is that we cannot go too close because we will get distort, like here. My hands are quite big, so you need to take a step back. For landscape, for cityscapes, 60mm is perfect for that use. Also, the autofocus is perfect in that lens because we got here two linear XD motors from the Sony, which means this lens catch up 120 fps from A9 III, which is good. And autofocus performance in regular situation like here is very sticky and there is no problem with detecting eye. The autofocus is very sticky, so this is very good. Like you see, transition is very fast and accurate. Distortion here on that lens with no profile is visible. The barrel distortion is kicking it a lot, but when you use correction, for example in camera, in my opinion there is no problem at all. But there is one problem with that barrel distortion, the sharpness. Because of that distortion, that type of correction in post-production, the sharpness is going down, especially on the corners. In the middle is perfectly fine, but you need to remember the corner is a little bit soft. The aberration, the loca, in my opinion, is very well controlled. Yes, of course, it's visible when we zoom in the image, but in my opinion, we can work with that. I see a lot worse performance in other lenses. The bokeh on this lens is very nice because of the 11 aperture blades on that lens, like I mentioned before. Zooming in the centrum of the photo, we can see the bokeh is really nice, really rounded. There is almost no problem here. We can see a little bit onion rings in the centrum, but this is a little bit nitpicky, too much. Going to the side, we can clearly see that rounded bokeh is going away. It's not cat eyes, it's something different, but in my opinion, it's still pleasing for the eye. Especially going to the close focus distance photo, it's going to have some character here. Close focus distance on this lens is on the strong side. I think is the one of the biggest advantage of this lens, 60mm, because when we set this lens for manual focus, the closest focus distance is 0.13 and magnification is 0.3. So basically it means when we got lens hood on this lens and going to that distance, the lens hood will probably cut a little bit light from the photo because we are so close to the object. On the autofocus settings, the closest focus distance is a little bit different. I mean 0.50 and magnification is 0.25. I think this lens is perfect for point of view type of video. How about manual focusing? I think this lens have some sort of linear focusing because when I put some markings on the lens and try pull focus from A to B, I was able to reproduce the focus pulling from A to B. So it's looking like this lens is linear focusing, but I must say I didn't see that information on the presentation on the pre-release event. How about focus breathing on that lens? It's visible or not? It's minimal and also it's much better performance than the 20mm or 40mm from the Sony. I think they take feedback from that lenses and improve that performance on that lens. It's visible, but it's very, very minimal, which is very good in my opinion. Okay, I must say that this lens don't like strong direct light into the lens because of the flares. We can clearly see that is some halos appearing, some artifacts. The flares are strong on the whole image. So if you don't like this, you need to avoid direct sunlight, for example. How about SUNSTARS? we got very nice performance here. The SUNSTARS are pleasing, nothing to complain about. This is native lens from the Sony, which means active stabilization with that lens, with that combination, will work much more better than third-party lens. Yes, this is true. And 60mm field of view is very good for that type of work. I mean, handheld working with active stabilization. Additionally, if you're going to the ninja walk with more stable walking, in my opinion, 90% is better than the gimbal. Yeah, it's true, but controversial. In summary, I can already say this lens is perfect. I was waiting for that type of lens many years, and I got everything that I wanted. This lens is small, fast, bright, not expensive, the stabilization is working very nice, the breathing of this lens is minimal, we can screw heel filters, 67mm, and performance of close focusing distance is amazing. This is everything that I needed. In the end, let me know in the comments what you think about that lens. Are you hype like me or not? Okay, this is everything. See you next time.